If you've been reading all of your headlines recently and also been a part of the Twitter fiasco, you already know Lil Uzi's been talking about quitting music in its entirety due to frustrations, I'm assuming, with his label. That's it. Video over. Bye. In all honesty, I just wanted to take this opportunity to touch on the issues that I have with music labels and the way they handle and deal with artists and how it ultimately ends up affecting the artist's work and their mental state in the process of having to release music underneath the guise of people that don't even understand it in the first place. For the longest time, a lot of his fan base has been asking, where's your new album, Eternal Attack or Terrorist Attack? Or Black Attack, whatever that album name was, the one that he's getting sued or got sued almost for because of this cult or what. I don't know. People have been waiting like crazy for that project, right? And they've been waiting for quite a long time. The issue that I have, first of all, with the people that are begging for this new material is we've only been without new Uzi music for about a year and a half. I mean, he just dropped that one project. What was it? Luv Is Rage 2 back in 2017. Hasn't even been that long, all right? So his fan base should relax for a second. I'm totally on Uzi's side here, though, but his fan base needs to calm down. Last time we got a new Uzi project was August 25th, I believe. And I remember that month specifically because that was the same day that Brockhampton, XXXTentacion, and Lil Uzi dropped their albums in the same night. Uzi, in an Instagram live feed, admits that New Paddock was never leaked. It actually was him that dropped it. He also alludes to regretting having signed any contract, signing any paperwork. Uh, Kind of just addressing the idea that he just wishes he could just make music and be done with the rest of the technicalities. Uzi is really not in the fact that he's having so many issues with releasing his music. It's more anger at himself for signing something and now he's unable to get out of it without having some kind of legal ramification. You can't just up and leave your contract, and I think that's the thing that's making Uzi the most angry because for an artist, being bound by a contract is one of the worst things you could ever do. You can't make music when you're inspired to, you have to make music at certain times, you gotta release music at certain times, you gotta adhere to the rules of the label. You signing, you already got a lump sum in the beginning of your career that you already have to pay fucking taxes on that the label themselves doesn't handle when they give you that check. And they get the proceeds from the remainder of the streams and the sales from your album. The issue here isn't necessarily Uzi. The issue here is Atlantic Records. Atlantic Records has one of the most horrible reps in the music industry when it comes to handling their artists. They fucked over Waka Flocka. Uh, Lupe Fiasco has a horrible relationship with them. B.o.b, etc. My opinion on that is there's no reason that the same label that's handling Lil Uzi should also be handling Bad Baby, should also be handling Bruno Mars, should also be handling Cardi B. These are artists that have completely totally different discographies. Like Uzi, in my opinion, isn't the type of artist that has the catalog or the type of fan base that a label like Atlantic even knows how to handle or properly market. The issue I have with Atlantic Records is how little they actually give to their artists when it comes to exposure. Like most often or more often than not, once the artist has their fan base or their core group of their audience members, all they do is go to Atlantic for the check. They don't really do anything else for you. I mean, you're allowing people leadership in your artistic future who don't actually have the cultural information to market you properly, and that's the biggest issue I have with them. And when it comes to regulating and trying to put a cap on what you can or can't release, especially in Lil Uzi's case when he's such a, I won't say out of the box artist, but so unique in his time frame. Uh, to be able to market him successfully, you have to have a certain type of individual do that, and I think it requires more than just a couple people. He needs like a team behind him. And I know that's not a team that he's getting over at Atlantic. What Lil Uzi is trying to say when he says he's done making music isn't that he wants to stop making music. It's that he wants to stop dealing with bullshit in order to get the music to his fan base. He doesn't want to stop rapping. He doesn't want to stop making melodies. He doesn't want to stop performing, I'm sure. But the hassle and the hurdle it takes just to get the music out there, he's like, I'd rather not fucking deal with it. I'd rather be back in 2013 when I still had the inspiration, the motivation, and the drive to still want to do this. Not only did that inspiration and creativity show up in those years, but he was much happier, I'm assuming. Now you have an Uzi that's pretty drained, I'm assuming pretty jaded in the way he thinks towards the music that he might be making at the moment, and also pretty nonchalant in his attitude in making it in the first place. But again, this isn't due to him having these mood swings or these changes randomly. It's just his label not knowing how to deal with him. People like Mike Caren and his division have already been called out by producers like Metro Boomin for underpaying producers by titling albums as mixtapes so they don't have to pay them properly. And you, a viewer or somebody like me who isn't in the music industry at the moment, you might be wondering, why are these guys just willingly signing to these labels and not doing any homework on them? But when you're young and you're bright-eyed, you don't know much about the business, and you want the money, and you just want to make music, and some label comes over, or some guy with a briefcase and a nice suit on comes over and says, hey, I can give you $1.5 million. We'll give you a studio. We'll give you some producers. We'll give you some beats to start out with. Hell, if you're comfortable or if you're uncomfortable doing it yourself, we'll give you a ghostwriter. We'll do you all that. You just got to sign this line under here, giving us all the rights to your music that you release, and you take the money. See, that signature is signing over your art. You're not just signing, you're not in partnership with the label. You're becoming their slave at that point. And that's why people have gone on and on about becoming independent, because it's the best way for an artist to do their own thing, grow, make as much money as humanly possible without having to give the label any cuts. However, there are many perks that comes with working with a label, like being able to sample, like having the access to certain producers at an easier, more fast pace, getting connected with other artists easier, being able to manage yourself better. These are all things that are possible when you sign with a label, but they're not guaranteed. And the guarantees are what's going to be made by that guy in that nice suit and that briefcase is going to say, hey, sign here. Like, he's going to make those guarantees most likely. I just read that Nav is quitting because Lil Uzi said he was quitting. This might not be such a bad thing after all. But nah, like, people were asking me about it. I don't think Uzi's trying to quit. I don't think he wants to quit. He's just really frustrated and having to deal with labels, and now he found out the hard way, unfortunately, that when you sign over, they don't really want to help you. They just want to take advantage of the shit that you've, begun, the traction that you've developed. They want that traction because it equates to revenue, and that's not revenue that you're going to be able to see. Meanwhile, you're pulling your hair out, going crazy in your studio, wondering why they won't let you release this, why you can't drop this, why you got to release at this date, not at this date, while this person who's, you might view as less talented than you, someone you might not know, someone that you might not even like, gets to release their album, they might get preferential treatment. Like, there's just too many games being played with the label. So I 100% understand Uzi's frustration, and yeah, he's just done with music labels, you know. That's what it is. He's not done making music. He just wants to make his art, release it. He wants to be able to do what he wants and have his artistic freedom, which is understandable, but this is the boat that you're in right now, and it sucks. So, that's my opinion on it. The Lil Uzi quitting music, not really a thing, not going to happen, but his label in Atlantic needs to stop playing with him. That's all I think. See y'all next time. I'm out. I'm sick, too. Jesus. I don't feel sick, though. I mean, I do feel sick, but I'm not, like, sick. You know what I mean? Sick.